Episode 2: The Ball. Ryland's heart raced as he stood before the grand, ornate doors of Lucian's mansion. The soft hum of music and laughter drifted through the thick oak doors, a stark contrast to the quiet hum of his own nerves. The invitation in his hand felt heavier than it should have, as though it were a symbol of everything he had ever dreamed of but never believed he could attain. He hesitated for a moment, staring at the intricate golden patterns that decorated the mansion's entrance. His mind was clouded with doubt. This wasn't his world. It wasn't a world for someone like him. He'd never been the kind of person to attend events like this, never been someone who belonged with people dressed in expensive tuxedos and flowing gowns. And yet, here he was, about to step into that very world. He glanced at the invitation one last time. The man's words echoed in his mind. "You deserve to be here. You just have to believe it." With a shaky breath, Ryland pushed open the doors, stepping into the opulent ballroom. Inside, the room took his breath away. Crystal chandeliers hung from the high ceiling, casting a soft, golden glow over the sea of elegantly dressed guests. The floor was polished to perfection, reflecting the shimmering lights and the people who moved gracefully across it. There was laughter, clinking glasses, and the rustle of silk as couples danced under the watchful eyes of towering portraits of long-dead aristocrats. Everything was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Ryland stood frozen in the doorway, overwhelmed by the sight. He felt small. He felt insignificant. And yet, there was something magical about the place. For the first time in his life, he felt like he could truly be someone else. He could slip into the shadows, become part of the crowd, and no one would know the quiet, invisible worker from this small cafe. He could be someone of importance, someone worthy of attention. But where would he even begin? How could someone like him, awkward, unpolished, unnoticed, possibly find a way to fit in among these people? As he hesitated, unsure of where to go or what to do, a voice cut through the noise. "You're not lost, are you?" Ryland spun around, startled by the sudden voice. Standing before him was a tall man with striking, sharp features, his dark hair slicked back perfectly. His suit, a deep shade of black, seemed custom-tailored to fit him like a glove. His eyes, piercing blue, intense, locked onto Ryland's with an unsettling intensity. Ryland was at a loss for words. This man, the one who had just spoken to him, seemed out of place in a way that Ryland couldn't quite place. He wasn't just well-dressed. He exuded an air of authority and control that made the world around him feel a little less certain. I don't belong here," Ryland said, his voice faltering as he looked down at his clothes. He felt the heat rise to his face, suddenly self-conscious. The clothes he had chosen, the ones the mysterious man had helped him acquire, were nice enough, but they didn't compare to the extravagant outfits surrounding him. The man raised an eyebrow, a faint smile tugging at the corners of his lips. "You're wrong about that," he said, his tone smooth and confident. "I think you belong here just fine." Ryland felt a strange shiver run down his spine. There was something about this man that made him feel seen. Not the invisible, overlooked version of himself, but the version of himself that he always kept hidden. The version that wished for something more. Before Ryland could respond, the man extended his hand. "Lucian," he introduced himself, his voice warm but commanding. "I don't believe we've met before, but I'm glad to see you here. I'm not one for formalities, but you're more than welcome at my ball, Ryland." Ryland's mind spun, struggling to process what was happening. The Prince Lucian, the one hosting the ball, was standing in front of him, and he knew his name. He couldn't understand it. How could he? He had never been invited to such an event, let alone been personally welcomed by the host. "You know my name?" Rylan asked, a little breathlessly. His heart was pounding in his chest, and the weight of the situation began to feel too much to bear. Lucian chuckled softly, as if amused by Rylan's confusion. "I do. I've been watching you." His gaze flicked over Rylan's appearance, not with judgment, but with a strange intensity that made Rylan feel both exposed and valued. "And I'm glad to see you've come." Rylan blinked, unsure of how to respond. There were so many questions, too many things he didn't understand. But before he could ask another, Lucian's expression shifted slightly, a flicker of something unreadable in his eyes. "Would you like to dance?" Lucian asked suddenly, offering his hand again. Rylan froze, his heart doing a wild flip in his chest. He wasn't a dancer. He had never danced a day in his life, and he definitely didn't belong in this polished, glittering world of elegance and perfection. But there was something about Lucian's presence that made him want to step forward, to embrace the unknown, even if it terrified him. I don't know how," Rylan admitted quietly, feeling a sudden wave of self-consciousness. Lucian smiled warmly, as if Rylan's hesitation was nothing but a passing moment. "Don't worry. I'll guide you," he said, his voice a reassuring whisper. "Just trust me." Without waiting for Rylan to respond, Lucian gently took his hand and led him onto the dance floor. The music swelled around them, a slow, mesmerizing waltz, and for a moment, Rylan felt his nerves begin to fade. He was just here. He was part of this world, and for the first time, he was being seen for more than just the quiet, invisible worker. Lucian's hands were steady, guiding Rylan with such ease that it made him feel like he belonged here, like this was exactly where he was meant to be. They moved together across the floor, Rylan's feet clumsy at first, but slowly finding their rhythm. But as they danced, Rylan's thoughts kept drifting back to the words the man had said, "I've been watching you." What did that mean? How could someone like Lucian be so familiar with him? Before Rylan could ask, Lucian leaned in slightly, his lips brushing against Rylan's ear. "You're more than you think you are, Rylan," he murmured, his voice sending a shiver through Rylan's entire body. "This world is just beginning to notice you." Rylan's breath hitched. This world. Did Lucian really mean it? Was it possible that he was more than just the invisible person he had always been? As the music played on, Rylan realized that this night, this mysterious ball, had already changed him. And as he looked into Lucian's eyes, he felt like he was finally starting to see himself, too.